Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about if Jesus Christ came back today, would Christians even accept him? And the answer is no. The Lord has servants today, people who are serving him today. The Lord has prophets out today who are speaking to people, and they're getting nothing but hate. And it's not always from people who are not Christians. A lot of it is from people who are Christians. They're Christians. They claim to be Christians, but they hate the messenger. And it's not like the messenger, but they claim that they hate the messenger. And it's not like the messengers carry themselves in a terrible way. It's not like they are saying things in a mean or rude way. They just don't like the words that are being said. They don't like the words that are being said. And then if you don't like the words that are being said, then you don't like the person that said it. Because God is truth. God is light. So if you don't like what God is saying, if you don't like what God is saying through a messenger, then you don't like what God is saying. And if you don't like what God is saying, then you know what I'm saying? I'm not even going to say like, they don't like it. They hate what God is saying. A lot of Christians would not accept God if he came back here today. They claim to be Christians, but they would not accept God today. You should see, like, if you go, well, I don't know. I don't really know if she would want me to say her, but, well, I mean, she's on the internet, so if you go to the Master's Voice, and you could see all the hate that she's getting over there, and she's a messenger of God, you know? She's a messenger of God, and I know for a fact she is a prophet. But, I mean, she gets so much hate, and people say all kinds of terrible things about her. It's not because of how she carries herself, but it's not, like, a lot, for example, like, and when I say that, like, it's not because of the way that she carries herself, I'm saying that because, like, a lot of people will disrespect people because of the way that they carry themselves. Like, a kind of thing where, like, respect is earned. Like, if you don't respect yourself, how do you expect other people to respect you? So, a lot of people will disrespect people who don't have respect for themselves. So, that's what I mean. Like, these people don't carry, like, God's messengers don't carry themselves in a way that are, you know, inappropriate. They don't carry themselves in a disrespectful way. These are nice, kind-hearted people, but they still get a lot of hate, and from Christians. The reason why they get so much hate is because they basically hate God. They hate God's words. They hate when God speaks in the earth. Like, that's the only reason, because these people don't carry themselves in any kind of non-respectable way. They're not even saying anything rude or mean, or they're trying to get you to change. But people hate change. But in order to be a child of God, you have to deny yourself daily. You have to be willing to change. Come as you are, but you're not to stay as you are. So the thing is, like, whenever a messenger of God is speaking, they always get so much hate from Christians. They always get hate from Christians. And it's just unfortunate. Because, and it doesn't even necessarily have to be just a prophet. It could just be people who God will use as a vessel to speak on their platforms. And they'll get hate, a lot of hate. People in their everyday life will hate them. And you know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, people on the internet will hate them too. So it's just, if God came today, would Christians accept him? No. The answer is no. Most Christians would not accept him. That's why it says narrow, straight and narrow is the gate. It's very few people that find it. It's very few people. A lot of people will claim that they know God, but they don't. You know what I'm saying? That's why it says in Matthew, you know, they will claim to know him. They'll say Lord and everything. They call him Lord, but at the end, he'll say, depart from me, I never knew you. You know, or even the one that says in Titus, they'll say, they know me with their words, but when their actions, they deny me. And then let's also talk about how, like, you know, the amount of abortions that happen in America, or even like all over, the amount of abortions that happen here is just a lot. But you also got to think, like, if God knew you before you were even put in the womb, right? God knew you before that. And he called people to be prophets and apostles and, you know, to be a part of, one of his vessels that he uses. To be one of his vessels that he uses. If he calls them, if he's calling a person to do that before they're even born, and we're aborting the babies, you're preventing future prophets, future apostles, future everything to even be born. That counts. You're killing God's prophets and apostles, and it's mainly happening here. So abortion is the most prevalent here in America. We have the most abortions. So, and people are happy about it. People literally are happy about doing stuff like that, and they'll do it over and over and over again. It's so easy now that people just take pills. So, I mean, I would say that, if anything, I would say a lot of people hate God in this day and age. But again, if you go to my other videos, you know, if you hate God, then you must hate yourself. Like, you must hate your own soul. Because where you're going, man, you're about to burn for a long time. All eternity. So, yeah. I just think that, I'm sorry. I don't know what that is. I just have this weird feeling. But, yeah, if you hate God, you're hating yourself, basically. So, and if you try to, if you're one of those people who are saying all kinds of terrible things to God's people, saying all kinds of horrible things about them, I mean, and you're a Christian, understand, like, you're not just rejecting the messenger, you're rejecting God. They are speaking on behalf of him. Like, when you reject his messenger, who he picked them himself. He picked them and he raised them up to do this thing. And then you are literally bad-mouthing them. It's direct disrespect to God. Like, so, yeah, I don't think that Christians I don't think that Christians would accept Jesus if he came back. They wouldn't even know who he is. Because it even says, my sheep hear my voice, and they know him. So, yeah, I don't think that Christians would accept Jesus today. At all. Yeah, no. I don't think they would accept Jesus. And it's unfortunate because, I mean, to claim yourself to be a Christian, I mean, a lot of Christians will say that they are Christians. They go to church every Sunday, and then all throughout the rest of the week, they just pretend like God doesn't even exist. Listening to whatever, sleeping with whoever, doing all kinds of stuff. So, yeah. I don't think that Christians would accept Jesus nowadays. I think it's a very slim amount of people. There's like billions of people on this planet, and there's probably like thousands, not even less than that probably, who are actually children of God and who actually follow the straight and narrow, who actually, you know, try to seek him every day. There's very little to almost no people. Like, there's very little to almost like no people who actually know God and who actually are following the straight and narrow. Like, during the days, it says in the Bible it's going to be like the days of Noah, and in the days of Noah, Noah was the only one. Noah was literally the only one that actually followed God. So there's very little people that will actually do and say what is... I mean, there's very little people who will actually follow God, or even... There's very little people who, on this earth, who probably don't hate him. I feel like a lot of Christians hate God. Not even gonna lie. People who claim to be Christians. I'm not even gonna say Christians. People who claim to be Christians. Because they just hate the truth. Like, they don't want to hear it. So, but again, if you hate God, you hate your own soul. You're attacking his followers. It says, touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm. So, and that's not him just saying it. I really think like that's like him warning you. This is a warning. Touch not my anointed, do my prophets no harm. Because there will be repercussions for that. They're speaking on behalf of me. So if you're attacking them, you're basically attacking him. Because he sent them. It's disrespect. It's complete disrespect. I'm not even gonna lie, like, I've even made mistakes like that, and I literally suffered consequences for that. So you cannot just... And when God corrects you, he's really doing it out of love. So, yeah. He's doing it out of love, but when you're going after God's anointed, you say stuff about them, or even like, you know, you're attacking them online, even behind closed doors, you say stuff about them, God could hear everything you're saying, and you just don't want to fight with God, you know? You don't want to be in that situation where, like, you're being punished for that, because you can lose things. Like, if you're talking about one of God's anointed behind their back, God can hear everything you're saying, and he can punish you, and literally you could end up losing everything. And you won't even really, you won't even know that that's the reason why. But that's literally the reason why. Because when he means, touch not my anointed, do my prophets no harm, like, this is not a suggestion. All of the Bible, it's not a suggestion. It's not a suggestion. When God is telling you to do something, it's not a suggestion. Like, it's a warning, basically. At least for that one, it is a warning. There are times where he's just telling you this is what it is. But if he's saying, like, touch not my anointed, do my prophets no harm, that's a warning. Like, there are repercussions for when you do things like that. because it's directly offending God. So do I think the Christians today would accept Jesus? No. Most of them? No. I could easily say that. Most of the Christians are not accepting Jesus. And that's just what it is. I mean, I hope and pray that most of them turn their ways and want to, like, you know, sacrifice. But most Christians, most people who claim to be Christians don't want to sacrifice. They don't want to deny their flesh. They don't want to change their ways. They don't want to change. And they attack anyone who tries to make them change, who tries to call them out as Christians. They will not take any rebuke. But open rebuke is better than secret love. Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceit. You should be able to take criticism as a Christian. Take that into consideration. You should be able to really, like, let it sink into your soul and try to change. But Christians don't want to do that. So whenever they hear God's voice and whenever they hear God telling the truth, they don't want to hear it. They attack the prophets. They attack the messenger. They try to say things about the messenger, terrible things. They try to do all kinds of, because they hate the truth. So, I mean, yeah, it's such a terrible, terrible time that we're living in. But honestly, like, you know, the wheat and the tares, you know, some are probably going to be put in hellfire. And some aren't. I mean, but yeah, I don't want to make this too long, so please like, comment, share, subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.